Alright 24 fans, it's time to shake up the formula a little bit. Since 24 Redemption is pretty much a 2-hour movie, you know, a 2-hour TV movie that bridges the gap between season 6 and season 7, I figured why not review it like a movie? So I'm gonna review it in my normal movie reviewing format, if that makes sense. Again, mild spoilers, although it is a 2-hour TV movie, so there is not much to spoil. So 24 Redemption takes place a few years after season 6. Jack Bauer, the ultimate badass, has been traveling the world as a missionary. He's been going from place to place to place to place. He is settled in Africa with a friend of his named Carl Benton. He and Carl Benton, who apparently was a friend of his in the Special Forces or something, they run a school of kids in Africa, a fictional African universe called Sangala or whatever. Sangala is being divided up into like a civil war type of thing. I mean, there's Colonel Ike Dubaku and General Juma who are kidnapping kids and recruiting them into the army. Yeah, kids with AK-47s. It's not a good world we live in, folks. Meanwhile, over in America, Noah Daniels is finally being forced to take an L, and he is stepping down. It's the end of his term, and President Taylor, a new president, is being sworn in, and she is the first female president. If only Hillary were that lucky. And Jack and Carl basically have to get the kids of their school when it comes under attack to the border so that they can protect them and get them out of the country. And while that's happening, Jack is also fighting a subpoena because people in America, they don't like Jack and they don't like what he did and they want him back. And so, story. I am a positive, cheerful person. I like talking about the positive first, so that's how we're going to do this thing. Let's get started. Personally, I think that 24 Redemption is a very good companion piece to Season 6 and Season 7. There are a lot of new characters and a lot of new storylines juggled here in this 2 hours, but really all of it is to set up Season 7. When we first meet Jack, Jack, he's still a Babar, but he's a retired Babar at this point. Let's face it, over the last few years, Jack has become basically a souped-up version of a T-2000. Dude is a Terminator. Dude has become less than human because he sees everyone around him die and he pretty much kills everyone in sight every season. In 24 Redemption, I like the fact that we got to see a little bit more human side of Jack. We get to see him have relationships with people that don't involve him going, "Where's the target? Where is the target?" So we get to see him smile a little bit. We get to see him care a little bit. And I always like those aspects of Jack. I like the fact that his humanity shines through even after all the shit that he's been through. I like his relationship with his friend Carl Benton. We've never seen or heard of this person before. He and Jack have a good rapport and he seems like a good guy, a good dude, and a guy that really wants to make a small difference in the world. As usual, the action set pieces and the drama that fuels the show are in top-notch form. There's a couple of action sequences in Africa that really stand out. Jack going up against an entire group of African terrorists and pretty much wiping all of them out. Hand-to-hand shit that he was doing in the forest. That is some really awesome 24 shit, and it really does harken back to the show's glory days. I'm talking about season 5 and before that, not whatever season 6 was. Allison Taylor, I have to touch on her a little bit here. She seems like one of those idealistic, strong-willed, good-hearted presidents, and you'll see more of that in season 7. Here she's just getting sworn in, and it's a really good, awesome thing, but that's pretty much the whole point of her purpose in this story, is that she's getting sworn into the Oval Office. So there is some fast-moving drama here. There are some things that make you go, ooh, that's kind of interesting. Ooh, I want to know more about that. But since this is a bridge the gap type of 2-hour movie, it doesn't really fill in the gaps, which I'll get to in a second. I like the way the show ended. I like the way that it does tie into season 7 in the sense that it shows you why and how Jack was reacquired by the US. Apparently the US is after Jack and they don't like the things that he did at CTU, which Jack did cross the line a few times at CTU, if we're being honest. And I like the fact that they made his reason for going back to America a heroic one instead of a, well, we just caught Jack and we just wanted to drag him back into the mud. It also sets up Colonel Ike Dubaku and General Juma as really interesting antagonists going forward into season 7. These guys both exude the right amount of menace and control and cold-blooded, methodical calculations. You have some good drama on the political side with Allison Taylor basically kicking Noah Daniels' ass to the curb. It's also great to see Tom Lennox back. He has one great line that he has to Allison Taylor's husband that was really really funny, actually. You have Jack, you have your usual action sequences, you have him throwing down with African terrorists this time, which is something new. It does an effective job of connecting to season 7, and that's what you want. Like I said, it's a companion piece, so there are a lot of loose threads, there are a lot of doors that they open but they don't walk you through. And as a result, it can make things feel unfinished and sometimes feel a little bit rushed. There are some things that you're going to have questions about and your questions are not going to be answered until you watch season 7. So in that sense, as a standalone piece, it doesn't really hold its own. There is this one annoying ass character during 24 Redemption that just, I was happy when he died. This guy from the UN who's helping out in Africa, and he's just that character that's so obviously wrong, but he still gets to talk. I just hate those characters that are so obviously wrong and stupid when they say stuff, but for some reason they don't shut the hell up. Luckily, he's not in the show that much, but still, I have to point that out as a negative. And again, the political aspects of the show aren't as compelling as the stuff that's going on in Africa. It's not as boring, it's just not as interesting, and I feel like I should mention that if you've never seen 24 Redemption. There's no Kim, there's great action sequences. I mean, it's a good 2-hour thrill ride. I mean, what more do you want? I will say that 24 Redemption is a Man of Steel 2-hour 24 movie. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on 24 Redemption. Stay tuned for 24 Season 7. I'll be talking about that probably tomorrow. Can't wait. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.